My name is Mallory Hayes. I'm 31 years old, and I'm a dental hygienist in Austin, Texas. My best friend stole my husband and my house. Then she told everyone in our social circle that I was crazy, that I'd made the whole thing up, that I was obsessed with destroying her happiness. For 6 months, I stayed quiet while she played the victim, and he played the good guy who'd finally escaped his unstable wife. They got engaged 3 weeks after our divorce was finalized. She posted the ring on Instagram with the caption, "Finally found my person." 200 people liked it, including mutual friends who'd stopped returning my calls. Then I got the invitation. Baby shower, September 16th, 2024. Her parents' house in Westlake Hills. She sent it to my work address. I don't know if it was a power move or if she genuinely thought I'd just not show up. I almost didn't. But then I remembered the USB drive my divorce lawyer had given me 6 months earlier. The one with every text message, every bank transfer, every piece of evidence that proved exactly when the affair started and exactly how they'd stolen the house I'd helped buy. I RSVP'd yes. I wore a navy dress and brought a gift bag with a card inside. When Jade opened it in front of 40 people and read my message out loud, the room went so quiet you could hear the ice melting in someone's lemonade. Before I go any further, if this story means something to you, please take a moment to like and subscribe. And drop your location in the comments. I want to know where you're listening from right now. Let me take you back 13 years to a dorm room at the University of Texas, where I met the person I thought would be my best friend for life. Jade Brennan and I were assigned as roommates freshman year in 2011. I was 18, from a middle-class family in Round Rock. I was on a partial scholarship and worked part-time at the campus bookstore to cover expenses. Jade was 17, came from Westlake Hills money, drove a car her parents bought her for graduation, and had a closet full of clothes I couldn't afford even with employee discounts. On paper, we shouldn't have worked, but we did. Or I thought we did. Jade was magnetic, the kind of person who walked into a room and people noticed. Confident, loud in the best way, always laughing, always the center of attention. I was quieter, the one who preferred small groups, library study sessions, and coffee shops over bars. But Jade pulled me out of my shell. She invited me to parties. She introduced me to people. She made me feel like I was part of something instead of just watching from the sidelines. We became inseparable, shared everything: clothes, secrets, late-night takeout, terrible dating stories. When she got her heart broken sophomore year, I stayed up until 3 a.m. holding her while she cried. When I failed my first organic chemistry exam and almost changed my major, she's the one who talked me through it. We had the kind of friendship people write movies about. Soulmates, but platonic. After college, we both stayed in Austin. Jade went into real estate, working for Keller Williams, selling houses to people with more money than I'd ever see. I went to dental hygiene school and got a job at Bright Smile Dental on South Congress. We got an apartment together for 2 years in our mid-20s, a tiny 2-bedroom in South Austin where the AC barely worked, and we could hear our neighbors arguing through the walls. Those were good years, or at least I remember them that way. Jade got married first, to a guy named Trevor, someone she'd met through work. Big wedding, expensive venue. I was a bridesmaid. The marriage lasted 2 years. Trevor cheated on her with a client. Jade was devastated. I helped her move out of their apartment, held her through the divorce, reminded her every day that she deserved better. She did. I genuinely believe that. I met Connor Hayes in 2017 at a friend's birthday party. He was 26, a software engineer at IBM, quiet like me, thoughtful, the kind of guy who listened more than he talked. We dated for 3 years. He proposed on a hike at Barton Springs with a ring he'd saved for months to buy. We got married on June 20, 2020, a small ceremony because of COVID restrictions, but it was perfect. Jade was my maid of honor. She gave a toast that made everyone cry. She said, "Mallory is the best person I know. And Connor, you better take care of her." He promised he would. He lied. Connor and I bought a house in March 2021, a 3-bedroom in South Austin. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. $420,000. We put down $60,000. I contributed $35,000 from my savings, money I'd been building since my first job at 16, every birthday check, every tax return, every bonus. Connor put in $25,000. The mortgage was in both our names. I paid more of it every month because I'd contributed more to the down payment, and we'd agreed that was fair. We painted the living room together. We planted a garden in the backyard. We talked about kids, maybe in a few years, once we'd settled in and saved more. Jade visited constantly. Girls' nights at my kitchen table. Dinners with Connor and me as a couple. Pool parties in the summer. She was single after her divorce, and I wanted her to feel included, loved, part of our life. I trusted her in my home. I trusted her around my husband. I trusted her with everything. I was an idiot. Looking back now, I can see the signs I missed. Small things that didn't register at the time. Starting in early 2023, Connor worked late more often. He was a software engineer who worked from home most days, but suddenly there were evening meetings and project deadlines that kept him at his desk until 9-10 p.m. I didn't question it. I assumed he was stressed about work. Jade started canceling our plans. Girls' nights she'd suggest and then bail on last minute. Client emergency, she'd say. Shilling fell through, I'm exhausted. I told myself she was busy building her career. Connor became distant, critical. Little things I did annoyed him in ways they never had before. The way I loaded the dishwasher. The way I left my shoes by the door. Our sex life evaporated. When I initiated, he'd say he was tired, stressed, not in the mood. I believed it was normal marriage stuff. Every couple goes through phases, right? I told myself we'd reconnect once work settled down for him, once things got less busy. I was making excuses for him while he was sleeping with my best friend in our bed. June 10th, 2023. That's the day everything shattered. I remember it was a Saturday because I normally work Saturdays, but the dental office had to close for emergency repairs. A pipe burst in the back room, flooded half the building. My boss called me at 9 a.m. and told me not to come in. I was disappointed. I planned to use the day to catch up on patient charts. Instead, I had an unexpected day off. I texted Connor, office closed, pipe burst, coming home. He didn't respond. Not unusual. He was probably working, headphones on, deep in code. I stopped at H-E-B on the way home, picked up groceries for the week, got home around 11 a.m. Connor's car was in the driveway. Normal. He worked from home. But there was another car, a white Audi Q5. Jade's car. I didn't think anything of it at first. Jade and I had plans for lunch later that day. Maybe she'd come early. Maybe she and Connor were hanging out. They got along well. I liked that. I wanted my husband and my best friend to be friends. I walked in through the front door. The house was quiet. No TV. No music. I set the groceries on the kitchen counter and called out, "Connor? Jade?" No answer. I heard something upstairs. Voices. Low. Muffled. I walked upstairs. Our bedroom door was slightly open. Not closed, just ajar. And through that crack, I saw them. Connor and Jade in my bed. The bed I slept in every night. The sheets I'd washed 3 days earlier. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't move. I just stood there in the hallway, frozen, my brain trying to process what my eyes were seeing. Jade's hands on Connor's chest. Connor's mouth on her neck. The sound of them, breathless and tangled, completely unaware that I was 10 feet away. I backed up, quietly, down the stairs, out the front door. I sat in my car in the driveway for 20 minutes. I don't remember what I thought about. My mind was blank, static, like a TV stuck between channels. Then I went back inside. This time I slammed the door. Loud. By the time I walked upstairs, they were dressed, sitting in the living room, on the couch. Jade's hair was messy, but she tried to fix it. Connor's shirt was inside out. He didn't notice. Or maybe he did and thought I wouldn't. Jade smiled at me. Hey Mel, didn't know you'd be home early. Just hanging out, watching a movie? The TV wasn't on. Connor nodded. Yeah, needed a break from work. I looked at Jade. Weren't you showing a house this afternoon? She didn't miss a beat. Buyers canceled. Last minute. So I figured I'd come hang out. I nodded. I have a headache. I'm going to lie down. I went to the guest room, closed the door, locked it, and I started planning. That night, Connor came to bed like nothing had happened. He kissed my forehead, said good night, babe. I pretended to be asleep. I was already 3 steps ahead. The next morning, I called my younger sister, Becca. She's 27, a graphic designer, lives in East Austin, and she's the only person in my life who's never lied to me. I told her what I saw. She said one word: lawyer. I called Patricia Voss that afternoon. She's a divorce attorney with an office on Barton Springs Road, came highly recommended, no nonsense, the kind of woman who doesn't waste your time with false hope. I told her everything. She said, don't confront them yet. Gather evidence first. Texas is a community property state, but adultery can affect asset division if you can prove financial misconduct. I hired a private investigator. Cost me $2,500, charged it to a credit card Connor didn't monitor. The PI's name was Gene, a former cop in his 50s who'd seen it all and didn't judge. He followed Connor and Jade for 3 weeks. What he found made me sick. Photos of them entering hotels together. 4 different locations across Austin. Always mid-afternoon, always when I was at work. Lunch dates at restaurants on the other side of town. Places we'd never go, where they thought no one would recognize them. Jade's white Audi parked in my driveway for hours at a time while I was at the dental office. My house. My driveway. My bed. Gene also pulled financial records. I gave him access to our joint accounts since my name was on them. Connor had been transferring money to Jade. Small amounts at first, $200 here, $300 there. Then bigger, $500 at $800 there. Over 6 months, he'd moved $4,200 of our money into her account, deposits labeled as loan repayment or reimbursement. Lies. But the worst part, the part that made me want to throw up, were the text messages. One night in late June, Connor left his phone charging on the kitchen counter. I knew his passcode. We'd shared passwords when we got married, one of those married couple trust things. I opened his messages, scrolled to Jade's name, and I read, January 15, 2023, Connor, I can't stop thinking about you. Jade, me either, this is crazy. Connor, I know, but it doesn't feel wrong. February 10, 2023. Jade, we need to be more careful. Mallory almost walked in yesterday. Connor, I know. I'll make sure she's at work next time. March 22nd, 2020. Connor, I'm falling in love with you. Jade, I've been in love with you since the beginning. April 18th, 2023. Jade, when are you going to tell her? Connor, soon. I promise. I just need to figure out the right way. May 28th, 2023. Jade, I can't wait to start a family with you. Connor. Me too. Just need to handle things with Mallory first. Jade, how much longer? Connor. Few more months, then we're free. I took screenshots of everything. Sent them to my email. Sent them to Patricia. Saved them to 3 different USB drives. Then I put Connor's phone back exactly where I'd found it. They'd been planning my exit for months. Planning their future while I was still living in the present, completely unaware. I also found something else. A bank account I didn't know existed. Connor had opened the joint account with Jade in April 2023. He'd deposited $8,000 into it. Our money. Money from our joint savings. Money we were supposed to be saving for a bigger house, for kids, for our future. He'd been building a future with her using the resources from the life he was still pretending to have with me. By the end of July, I had everything I needed: photos, text messages, bank records, a timeline that showed the affair had started in January 2023 and had been going strong for 7 months while Connor came home to me every night and kissed me like nothing was wrong. On August 3rd, 2023, I told him I knew. I waited until he got home from a meeting that I knew was actually drinks with Jade. He walked in at 7:30 p.m., set his keys on the counter, asked what was for dinner. I was sitting at the kitchen table. I looked at him and said, "I know about Jade." His face went white, then red, then defensive. "What are you talking about?" "I know about the affair. I know you've been sleeping with her since January. I know you've been planning to leave me for months. Mallory, you're being paranoid. I have photos, Connor. I have your text messages. I have bank records showing you transferred over $4,000 to her. I know everything." He sat down, put his head in his hands. For 30 seconds, he didn't say anything. Then he looked up and said, "We haven't been happy for a long time." That's what he led with. Not, "I'm sorry." Not, "I made a mistake." Just blame. Deflection. "So you fucked my best friend in our bed instead of talking to me? Don't make this sound worse than it is." "Connor, you've been having an affair for 7 months. You've been stealing our money to fund it. You've been lying to my face every single day. How could it possibly sound worse than it is?" He stood up. "I want a divorce. I know. I already have a lawyer." He stopped. "When did you? The day after I caught you. 2 months ago." He stared at me like he'd never seen me before. Maybe he hadn't. Maybe he'd only ever seen the version of me that was convenient for him. He moved out that night, packed a bag, drove to Jade's apartment in North Austin. And within 24 hours, the smear campaign began. Jade posted on Instagram. Not a photo, just a quote. One of those pastel aesthetic posts with text overlay. "Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is be there for a friend going through a hard time." Comments poured in. "You're such a good person. Lucky to have a friend like you." I wanted to vomit. Within 48 hours, mutual friends started calling. "Hey Mal, I heard you and Connor split. Are you okay? What happened?" I told the truth. Connor had an affair with Jade. They've been sleeping together since January. But Connor and Jade were telling a different story. And because Jade was louder, more charismatic, more connected, people believed her. Jade's version spread through coffee dates and group texts and wine nights I was no longer invited to. Mallory is having a breakdown. She's accusing Connor and me of having an affair, but it's not true. She's always been a little jealous of our friendship. But this is next level. I think she needs help. Connor left because Mallory became controlling and paranoid. She was tracking his phone, accusing him of cheating with everyone. It got really toxic. I'm just trying to support Connor through this difficult divorce. He has nowhere else to go. Mallory's made it clear she doesn't want him in the house. Mallory's been sending me harassing messages. I've had to block her. That last one was a complete lie. I'd blocked Jade the day Connor moved out. I hadn't sent her a single word. Connor's version was simpler. Mallory and I grew apart. She became obsessed with the idea I was cheating. "I'm staying with Jade temporarily because I need a place to crash. We're just friends. Mallory's making things up because she's hurt." And people believed them. Our mutual friend group, about 15 people we'd known for years, split down the middle. Some believed me. Most believed Jade. Not because my story wasn't true, but because hers was easier to believe. I was the quiet one. The boring one. The one who didn't make waves. Jade was fun. Jade threw parties. Jade was the life of every gathering. Why would she lie? I watched my social circle shrink in real time. Invitations stopped coming. Group chats I'd been part of for years went silent. When I'd text someone directly, I'd get responses like, "Hey, I don't want to get in the middle of this. Hope you're okay." Translation: I believe her, not you. Jade kept hosting events, dinner parties, game nights, pool days. She invited everyone except me. and people went. Because it was easier to go to Jade's party than to question whether she was lying. My Instagram became a graveyard. I'd post something normal, a photo of my coffee or a sunset, and the comments would be full of passive-aggressive posts from people I thought were friends. Hope you're getting the help you need. Sending you healing energy. Praying for you. They thought I was crazy. They thought I'd made it all up. I had 4 people left. My sister Becca, 2 college friends who lived out of state and called me weekly to check in, and 1 coworker, a woman named Denise who'd been through a similar divorce and said, "I believe you. I've seen this before. The truth always comes out." I held on to that. The truth always comes out. The divorce took 4 months. Connor wanted a clean 50-50 split of everything: the house, the savings, the furniture. Patricia, my lawyer, had other ideas. She presented the evidence: the affair, the text messages, the bank transfers to Jade. She argued that Connor had forfeited his right to an equal split because of adultery and financial misconduct. He'd been funneling marital assets to his affair partner. Connor's lawyer argued that Texas is a no-fault divorce state. The affair, legally, didn't matter. But Patricia countered, the affair might not matter, but financial infidelity does. He transferred over $4,000 of marital funds to a third party without his spouse's knowledge or consent. That's misconduct. The case dragged. Depositions. Mediation. Legal fees that ate into my savings. But in December 2023, we reached a settlement. The house had to be sold. We'd bought it for $414,000 in 2021. The market had gone up. It sold for $465,000. After paying off the mortgage, there was $120,000 in equity. Because I'd contributed more to the down payment, $35,000 versus Connor's $25,000, and because Patricia successfully argued the financial misconduct angle, the judge awarded me 58% of the equity. I got $69,600. Connor got $50,400. It wasn't enough. It would never be enough. But it was something. The divorce was finalized on February 22, 2024. I moved out of the house we bought together into a small 1-bedroom apartment in East Austin, 650 square feet. Rent was $1,350 a month. I sold most of our furniture, kept a few things that mattered: my grandmother's quilt, the coffee table I'd refinished myself, photos from before Connor, back when my life made sense. I thought that was the end. I thought I could move on, rebuild, start over. Then I found out about the house. In late January 2024, a full month before our divorce was even finalized, Connor and Jade bought a house together. Westlake Hills, the neighborhood where Jade grew up, where her parents still lived in a mansion with a circular driveway and a 3-car garage. Purchase price, $520,000. I found out because Jade posted a photo on Instagram. Her and Connor standing in front of a beautiful 2-story house with a sold sign in the yard. Caption: New beginnings with my love. 206 people liked it. The comments were full of congratulations. So happy for you guys. Beautiful home. You deserve this. Jade's mom commented. So proud of you, sweetheart. I stared at that post for 20 minutes. Then I did the math. They'd bought the house in December 2023. That meant they'd been shopping for houses, getting pre-approved for a mortgage, planning their future together while Connor and I were still technically married. The down payment was $75,000. Connor's share of our divorce settlement, $50,400. Jade's savings, the $4,200 I knew Connor had transferred, plus another $5,400 I didn't catch, money he'd been moving in smaller amounts. Jade's parents gifted them $20,000. I know this because Jade mentioned it in a comment reply. Thank you. Mom and Dad helped us with the down payment. We're so blessed. They'd used the equity from my marriage, from the house I'd poured my savings into, to buy their affair house. I reported the post. Instagram said it didn't violate community guidelines. I blocked Jade. I should have done it months earlier, but I couldn't stop looking. Couldn't stop watching her build the life she'd stolen from me. 3 weeks later, Connor and Jade got engaged. March 15, 2024. Jade posted a photo of her hand, a diamond ring, bigger than the one Connor had given me. Caption: Finally found my person. Can't wait to spend forever with you. 212 likes. Not a single person in the comments mentioned that her person used to be married to her best friend. In April, she announced the pregnancy. A photo of her holding a positive pregnancy test. Caption: We're expecting. Baby Hayes coming October 2024. I did the math again. If she was announcing in April, she was probably 12 to 14 weeks along. That meant conception happened in late January or early February, right around the time Connor and I were signing divorce papers. Maybe before. They'd been planning this baby while he was still legally my husband. In May, they had a gender reveal party. Pink confetti. It's a girl. Jade posted a video of her and Connor popping a balloon, pink powder exploding everywhere, both of them screaming and hugging. She was glowing. He looked happier than I'd ever seen him. I was living in a 660 square foot apartment, working extra shifts at the dental office to rebuild my savings, seeing a therapist twice a month to process betrayal trauma, and they were celebrating the life they built on the ruins of mine. Then in August, the invitation arrived. It came to my work address. Bright Smile Dental, 1214 South Congress Avenue. I don't know how she got that address. Maybe she Googled me. Maybe someone told her. The envelope was thick, expensive cardstock, cream-colored with gold lettering. Inside, you're invited to celebrate baby girl Hayes. Join us for a baby shower in honor of Jade Brennan and Connor Hayes. Date, September 16, 2024. 2:00 p.m. Location: Brennan Family Residence, 4820 Westlake Drive, Westlake Hills. RSVP: Jade Brennan. I stared at it for 10 minutes. My coworker Denise walked past, saw me holding it. You okay? My ex-husband's pregnant fiancée just invited me to her baby shower. Denise blinked. That's bold. That's one word for it. I brought the invitation home, set it on my kitchen counter. Stared at it every day for a week. Becca came over, saw it, and said, "Please tell me you're not going." I don't know. Mal, she destroyed your life, and now she wants you to bring a gift and smile while she celebrates the family she stole from you? Fuck her. Everyone thinks I'm the crazy one, Becca. Everyone thinks I made it all up. If I don't go, I'm the bitter ex. If I do go, if you do go, what? You sit there and watch her open gifts and pretend everything's fine? No, I said slowly. If I go, I tell the truth. Becca looked at me. What are you thinking? I pulled out my phone, opened my email, found the folder labeled Divorce Evidence, clicked on the zip file Patricia had sent me 6 months ago. I'm thinking, I said, that I stayed quiet because my lawyer told me to. But the divorce is over, and I'm tired of being quiet. I spent the next week planning. I called Patricia. Do I still have access to all the evidence? The texts, the photos, the bank records? Everything's on file. Why? I told her about the baby shower. There was a long pause. Then Patricia said carefully, I can't advise you to do anything that could be considered harassment or defamation. What if I just shared truthful information that's already part of the public divorce record? Another pause. If the information is truthful and part of public record, sharing it isn't illegal. But Mallory, be very careful. Think about what you want to accomplish. I want people to know I wasn't lying. Then make sure you can prove it. Patricia sent me the file. I spent 2 days going through it, hundreds of pages, text messages, bank statements, timelines, photos. I narrowed it down to one piece of evidence, the most damning one. May 28, 2023. The text exchange between Connor and Jade. Jade, I can't wait to start a family with you. Connor, me too. Just need to handle things with Mallory first. Jade, how much longer? Connor, Few more months, then we're free. They'd been planning this baby, the one she was carrying right now, since May 2023. 3 months before Connor even told me he wanted a divorce. I printed the screenshot, full color, clear, readable text. I mounted it on cardstock, folded it like a greeting card. On the outside, nothing. On the inside, the screenshot. And below it, in my handwriting, "Congratulations, you've been planning this since May 2023. I hope it was worth it." I bought a baby blanket. Something nice. Soft pink cashmere. $80 from Nordstrom. I'm petty, but I'm not cruel. I put the blanket and the card in a gift bag with tissue paper. Then I RSVP'd. Mallory Hayes, one guest. Looking forward to celebrating with you. Becca said, "You're really doing this." I'm really doing this. Do you want me to come with you? No. This is something I need to do alone. September 16, 2024. 2:00 p.m. I wore a navy blue dress. Simple, elegant, nothing flashy. I did my hair, my makeup. I looked good. Not trying too hard good. Just put together, calm, in control. I drove to Westlake Hills. The Brennan family home was exactly what I expected. Massive. Gated. Circular driveway. A valet took my car. There were balloons on the front porch. Pink and gold. A banner that said "Old Baby." I walked inside carrying my gift bag. The house was full of people. 40, maybe more. Mostly women, a few men. I recognized some faces. Mutual friends who'd stopped talking to me. Jade's coworkers, her family, and there, in the center of the living room, holding court in a white maternity dress with a pink sash that said "Mommy to be," was Jade. She saw me. Her face went white. She whispered something to Connor, who was standing next to her in khakis and a button-down, looking like the proud, almost father. He looked over. His face mirrored hers. Shock. Fear. Jade walked toward me, plastered on a smile. "Mallory, I didn't think you'd actually come. You invited me. I didn't think you'd..." I brought a gift. I held out the bag. She took it, her hands shaking slightly. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to." Jade's mom appeared. Mrs. Brennan, dressed in expensive linen, pearls around her neck. "Mallory, what a surprise. How nice of you to come." "Wouldn't miss it," I said sweetly. For the next 30 minutes, I floated through the party. I ate a cupcake. I sipped lemonade. I made small talk with people who'd ghosted me. I was polite, gracious, calm. And then it was time for Jade to open gifts. She sat in a chair in the center of the room, surrounded by presents. Connor stood beside her. 40 people watched. She opened 15 gifts. Baby clothes, diapers, a stroller, a car seat, books. Everyone oohed and awed and awed. Jade smiled and thanked each person, held up each item for photos. Then she picked up my bag, pulled out the tissue paper, found the blanket. Soft pink cashmere, folded neatly. "Oh, this is beautiful," she said, holding it up. "Thank you, Mallory." I stood up from where I'd been sitting on the couch. "There's a card." Jade reached into the bag, pulled out the folded cardstock, opened it. I watched her face, watched the color drain, watched her eyes widen, watched her hands start to shake. She looked up at me. Our eyes met. "Read it out loud, Jade," I said. My voice was calm, clear. Everyone should hear. The room went quiet. People turned to look. Jade's mouth opened, closed. No words came out. Connor moved toward her. "Jade, don't." But Mrs. Brennan took the card from Jade's hand. "Read it." Her face changed. She looked at Connor, then at Jade. "Is this real?" Mrs. Brennan asked quietly. Jade's eyes filled with tears. "Mom, she's trying to..." I pulled out my phone, held it up so everyone could see. "Those are text messages from May 28th, 2023. 3 months before Connor told me he wanted a divorce. They were already planning this baby while he was still sleeping in my bed. The room was dead silent. Someone's ice clinked in their glass. Connor took a step toward me. "Mallory, this isn't the place." "No, Connor." My voice was steady, loud enough for everyone to hear. "This is exactly the place. You two spent 6 months telling everyone I was crazy, that I made up the affair, that I was obsessed, jealous, unstable. I stayed quiet because my lawyer told me to. The divorce is over now, and I'm done being quiet." I looked around the room, 40 faces staring at me. "I have 8 months of text messages. I have bank records showing Connor transferred over $4,000 of our marital money to Jade while we were still married. I have photos of them together at hotels. I have everything. I gave one piece of evidence to Jade just now, but I have all of it, and anyone in this room who wants to see it can ask me." Jade was sobbing now. Full, heaving sobs, her mascara running, her hands covering her face. Connor stood frozen. Mrs. Brennan looked like she'd been slapped. I picked up my purse, walked toward the door, stopped, turned back. "Enjoy your baby shower." I walked out. I got in my car, drove home. My hands were shaking, but not from fear, from adrenaline, from relief, from the weight of 6 months of silence finally lifting off my shoulders. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I turned on the radio and drove through Austin traffic feeling lighter than I had in a year. Within 2 hours, my phone exploded. Texts from people who'd ghosted me. "Oh my God, Mallory, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Jade told us you made it all up. I feel terrible." DMs on Instagram. "Can you send me the evidence? I need to see this." I always thought something was off about their story. Calls from mutual friends. "Mallory, I owe you an apology. I should have believed you." Even Connor's mom called. His mother, who'd stayed silent through the entire divorce, who'd believed Jade's version. "Mallory, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. If I'd known, I would have. I'm sorry." I didn't answer most of them. Not right away. I needed time. But Becca called, "Tell me everything." I told her. Every detail. The card. The text. The silence. Walking out. When I finished, Becca was laughing and crying at the same time. "I'm so proud of you." Within 24 hours, the fallout spread. A group chat I'd been excluded from for months. Becca screenshotted it for me. People were tearing Jade apart. "I can't believe we didn't believe Mallory. Jade lied to all of us. I feel like an idiot." Some people defended Jade. "Everyone makes mistakes. She's still a good person." But most didn't. Jade deactivated her Instagram, her Facebook. Went dark for 2 weeks. When she came back, the comments on her old posts had changed. "Humwrecker. You stole your best friend's husband. Karma's coming." Some people reported the comments, got them removed. But more kept coming. Connor deactivated too. Couldn't handle it. Mrs. Calm, Brennan, according to someone who was there, asked Connor and Jay to leave her house that day. Told them the baby shower was over. Guests left awkwardly, uncomfortably, whispering. Over the next few weeks, people reached out to apologize, some genuine, some performative. I didn't accept all of them. To one friend who texted, "I'm so sorry, I should have believed you," I replied, "Where were you 6 months ago when I needed you?" She didn't respond, but a few friendships rebuilt. Slowly, carefully. People who genuinely felt bad, who admitted they'd been wrong, who asked how they could make it up to me. I let a few back in. Not all. Some bridges were burned too thoroughly to rebuild. Patricia, my lawyer, called. "I can't officially condone what you did." And unofficially? A pause. Then, brilliant. It's November now. 2 months since the baby shower. Jade had the baby, a girl, born October 8th. She delivered 2 weeks early. I heard through the grapevine. I didn't send a gift. I also heard that Jade and Connor are having problems. Shocker. Turns out building a relationship on lies and betrayal doesn't create a stable foundation. Who knew? I don't care. Not really. I got what I needed. I got my truth told. I got my name cleared. I got people to see that I wasn't crazy, wasn't lying, wasn't the villain in this story. I'm in therapy. Rebuilding. I moved to a better apartment, a 2-bedroom in South Austin with a balcony and room for a home office. I'm saving again. I'm dating someone new, a guy I met through a friend, and we're taking it slow, but he's kind and he listens and he doesn't lie. My life isn't perfect. It's smaller than it was, quieter, but it's mine, and it's honest. Jade can have Connor. She can have the house they bought with my money. She can have the baby they planned while he was still my husband, but she can't have my silence anymore, and she can't rewrite history. Because the truth always comes out. Sometimes it takes 6 months. Sometimes it takes a baby shower and a printed text message and a room full of people who finally see what I've known all along. They stole my husband. They stole my house. They stole my friends for a while, but they couldn't steal the truth. And in the end, that's the only thing that mattered. My name is Mallory Hayes. I'm 31 years old, and I'm not the crazy ex-wife. I'm the woman who was right all along. If you've made it this far, I want to ask you something. If your best friend betrayed you like this and then invited you to celebrate the life she built on your broken marriage, would you go? Would you stay silent, or would you make sure everyone knew the truth? Tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you would have done. If you've ever been called crazy for telling the truth about someone who hurt you, this story is for you. Hit subscribe. Drop a fire emoji if you believe the truth always finds its way out, no matter how long it takes. I read every comment. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.